and now we're live. So welcome everybody. I'm really happy to be hosting this live event. Today we're going to talk about cloud migration strategies. This is the first broadcast, the first edition of Tech Talks, which I'm really happy to do because I've been trying to do this. I wanted to do these kind of events for a long time. We're going to have a very special guest, Maria Muñoz. She's solutions architect for AWS, and she's going to share with us and with all of you her experience. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jorge Vicholdo. I'm a translator and interpreter in English. I've been teaching and training professionals in English in companies for the last 15 years. And in the last 10 years or so, I've been working with lots of tech and IT companies. I've been teaching all different profiles of students, from junior developers to CTOs to DevOps. And my experience translating, interpreting, and teaching has given me the ability to speak about these topics. And considering that I am a very curious person and I really like technology, I really dive into all these topics every time I can, with my students or without my students. So I'm very happy to introduce Maria Muñoz. She's our guest today. So hello, Ana.
Hello, Jorge. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So, well, today I'm very happy that you joined me on this first Tech Talk. What is the goal of this event? The goal is to share a space with people who are training their English, and especially in the tech industry. So, as I always tell my students, practice as much as you can. Read, listen, watch videos, and if you are in the tech industry, also dive into the terminology and regarding the technology and everything. So as I always do to my students, practice as much as you can. And this is another opportunity for all of you, students of mine or not, to practice your English. And I will always invite you to ask questions today or make comments on the event on LinkedIn. So I'm going to be sharing your questions to Ana if you have any, or to me if you have any. So I encourage you to do that, and also to write to us. Where are you watching us from? Are you in Argentina? Are you in Colombia? Well, Ana is in Colombia. So if you're in Colombia, Uruguay, please let us know. Write a message, comment on the live event on LinkedIn, and we're going to be sharing with us. So tell me a little bit about you, Ana. You're solutions architect for AWS.
Yeah.
That's your experience. So what can you tell us about that very briefly?
Okay. So hi, everyone. I'm Maria Muñoz. Currently, I'm working on AWS as a solutions architect. By my career, my professional path began in the software engineering area. So I'm graduated from a university in Cali, Colombia. And I started my career first as a software engineer, focused on backend development. And then I did my internship at AWS, and I started working on this phase that is the solutions architecture area. So for today, what I want to share with you is all my experience in cloud migration, so we understand what are the benefits of it, how can we identify what are the key benefits, the key applications, and the innovation that we can have in this kind of technology, and then how can we achieve greater goals in our careers as we work in English.
Yeah, great. And that's really interesting, your career path, and I'm sure you're excited about working there. And I think I can imagine being in tech and working for AWS, and it's like, if you're in this kind of projects, cloud migration projects, I think there's no better place to be than in AWS, right?
Yeah, I've been here like for 2 years now. So I've been learning a lot in the about cloud migrations, and then the innovation part. How can customers test and integrate new technologies as artificial intelligence? So that's like a key part of the job.
Yeah, great. So, well, if you agree with me, we can just jump into some of the questions I have prepared for today. So,
Okay.
this is the first one.
Okay.
In simple terms, what is cloud migration? So maybe today people who are listening to us that is not in tech, but for those who are in tech, I'm sure you know, but I would like you to explain very briefly, what is cloud migration?
Okay, I'd like to give an example. In simple terms, cloud migration is like moving your digital house. Imagine that you have all your belongings, I don't know, maybe your important documents, tools that you use daily in a physical house. And cloud migration enables you to move all of that to a digital space that you can access from anywhere. So is instead of storing everything on your own computer or servers, you are moving it to powerful computers managed by companies, or as we like to call and name ourselves, cloud providers like AWS. And this allows business to be more flexible and save costs and focus on all the innovation that I was talking just a few minutes ago, and rather than maintaining all that physical infrastructure that we found in the traditional deployment strategy.
I think there was a perfect summary, very good explanation of that. I mean, very, very graphic, So,
yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the physical house is what we call, in terms of database or in terms of infrastructure, is what we call on-premise, right? Or short on-prem, right?
That's correct. So we're like moving from maybe on-premises, that's the complete terminology. We're moving from on-premises to the cloud.
Yeah.
And the correct terminology is to cloud providers.
Exactly.
So you stop to focus on the maintenance of that infrastructure, and it allows all our customers and all the users that need to access to our infrastructure to focus on new technologies, new functionalities that maybe is needed for the business.
Yeah, great. So with this, I can go to our next question. That is talking about businesses and companies. Why the cloud? I mean, why migrating? Why is it a key strategy for business to migrate to the cloud?
Okay, so maybe if you're listening, maybe in some time, and there was a time that the digital transformation concept was like, we hear a lot about it, and I think that the cloud is crucial for this, for digital transformation, because the cloud and cloud providers, as AWS, provides the agility and scalability of the business So, as we know, today's fast-paced digital world is asking us for more every time, and it allows companies to quickly adapt to market changes and experiment with new technologies and machine learning, and deliver as a summary is to deliver better experiences to their customers. And plus we have like a point to focus on, and is that it enables teams to collaborate more effectively, and especially in our increasing remote work environment. So it's first just to deliver better experience for the customers, and plus we have like a better work teamwork with our peers.
That's great. And I remember once last year I was in a AWS offices here in Buenos Aires, and they were talking about also this migration, and there were people from Chile, and there were people from University of Chile, and they were talking about how they also in Chile they have risks of earthquakes, they have seismic risk. So having their infrastructure on-prem, it was also a risk for them. So I remember being at that talk, and the person from the representative from the University of Chile, and he was saying that, I mean, we had to, I mean, in our case was not, I mean, it was part of digital transformation, it was part of modernization of our institution, but it was also part of really a physical need to move our servers and our infrastructure to the cloud because they were at risk. That's a very specific case, but
that's a good example, Jorge, and that allows me to talk about an important tool that we have here in AWS, that is the AWS Well-Architected Framework. This is like a guide that we give to our customers so they can learn architectural best practices as they are deploying and building systems on AWS. And so they have all those best practices for designing and operating reliable, secure, efficient, cost-effective, and the parties and sustainable systems. That's like our pillars. So in the framework, what we focus on is to have, you need to have a secure environment. So for that, we have all the tools and services, and like a landing zone and documentation where you can reference what are the key, the quick wins that we have about security that you have to keep in mind. And in the reliable part, we have all these services that allow you to create that kind of disaster recovery strategies. If you are prepared, if your system is prepared to receive, like maybe the ideal dream is that none of our any of our system fails, but that's like just a dream, because in the reality, everything can fail at any time. So are you prepared for that? And we here in AWS, we created this framework as a foundational guide, so you can create and design that architecture. And that aligns with the example that you were giving me. That is how we create all those strategies. And first, how do we secure our environments, and then how we prepare for any failure that can arrive to our system.
That's interesting, and that's key for businesses. I mean, I remember also back in 2017, I remember going to events different companies' events, and they were talking about digital transformation, and at that time, 2017, 2018, there were still, of course, you have many, companies that were early adopters, and or even digital natives companies. But at that time, even I remember 2018, there were still people giving talks and talking and promoting and advocating for the digital transformation. And I remember when back in 2020, when the pandemic hit, COVID-19 and the lockdown and everything. I mean, there were companies who were already going through that process of digital transformation, and there were others who had to, make a leapfrog, and they had to, they were really, really falling behind, and they had no choice but to go digital. And I can imagine that at that time, being at these kind of companies was like, it was really a momentum.
It still happens today. We have companies that have legacy applications that maybe they can't even move to the cloud, so that it starts like all of the new different analysis, not just in the technology, but in the business models that they have. So if we have these legacy applications, how can we modernize all our systems? How we're going to plan to be updated to all the new technology that bring us all these benefits that we still haven't yet talked about in detail, but it still happens today. So the journey to the cloud, it depends in the customer and the context, but typically begins with the assessment phase. So we have to understand business priorities, maybe something technical debt that they have, and understand the inventory of the existing application that they have.
I remember when we first met. We met at the AWS event also 2 months ago here in Buenos Aires, and you mentioned this concept of working backwards. No, that you that's something that you do at AWS. No, that you first of all, the business and you as helping the business need to understand the business goals, right? And then work backwards.
That's one of our key tenets. Like, that's our guide to start all the journey to the cloud with all the customers.
Your North Star, right?
That's our North Star. So we need to understand, this allow us to understand first the customer needs, and just to listening and reacting to demands to improve our customer journey. And then we present and offer all the appropriate solutions to their needs. So that's like our driver for our excellent customer experience. And this is like our heart of the business. We need to do this systematic approach with all our customers, and define based on the customer experience, clear all their questions, embrace their approach to things like innovation, if they are going to prioritize that, or maybe we can focus on first accomplish maybe like the migration of all that legacy application. So it's like an exercise of listening to our customers.
That's the first thing, no, like customer-centric approach, no, or user focus approach, which is what many companies, many big companies who understand the business, they know that customer comes first, and the customer needs comes first. So my next question is, what are the benefits of migrating? What are the benefits for businesses of migrating? Because you told me before that we are still, even nowadays, listening to these stories of companies that are, these stories of companies that are still struggling to migrate. Is it because they don't want to adopt it, or they are still reluctant to adopt this, or because they don't understand the benefits and they think, no, we're okay on premise?
I think that in our side, it's important to do an awareness work. It's not only to go and sell. AWS is the first cloud provider in the market, but we have to do our work to help the customer understand that there are benefits like cost efficiency, because in the cloud you only pay for what you use. That's like an important concept that you have to keep in mind. And maybe the customers, as they hear, okay, I only pay for what I use, but maybe if I don't know, an example, someone from my team wants to create a new instance and a new database, and it is a large one, and then it creates an extremely costing billing. So in that cases, what we recommend is, okay, you pay for what you use, and you can have that kind of scenarios, but that kind of a scenario happen if you don't have a strong, secure environment. So you have to first prioritize that your environment where you're working on has like the definitions about what are the permissions that I'm gonna give to the users that have access to my environment in the cloud. And that's why we are here. We have to guide all the customers to avoid that kind of problems, and maybe so they can focus on, okay, there's cost efficiency because I'm only scaling up and down as I need. And maybe if it's I don't know, maybe if it's a retail customer, I have my e-commerce where I sell, and maybe we have like moments in the business where, I don't know, we are celebrating the anniversary of the e-commerce, and we have like a lot of discounts. The customers can scale all the resources, the compute resources for attending all that traffic that is going to happen on that day. And maybe when that anniversary happens and that discount passed, they can scale down again all their resources. So that leads me to the next benefit, that is you pay for what you use, and then you have this scalability that you can easily increase or decrease all your resources based on demand, on the demand that you have and the traffic that you need for your business. And it allows us to also have like an improved performance and reliability, because in AWS you have data centers worldwide. We have a global infrastructure, so we can ensure that all the applications that our customer run here in AWS can offer and can run smoothly. I can define it like that. They can run all their applications smoothly, regardless of where the users are. So that's what we want to assure. Like if and it leads me to the phrase that I told a few minutes ago, that it was, we want to that our customers deliver the best experience possible to their customer. And the part of the security is important, and it is also a benefit, because we have something that we call the a model for sharing the responsibility in the security, about security, because we as AWS handle all the security and for the infrastructure where you run all your applications, and you as a customer focus on in all the configuration and the tools necessary that you need for your specific use case. So we are taking that part of the responsibility to ensure that all that infrastructure that has all the hardware necessary for running your application is secure.
I just want to show one image that people can scan my QR code, and they are going to be able to find information about our website, a lot of content that I have posted on LinkedIn, both on my profile and my company profile on LinkedIn. So I'm going to show that image right now. So you can scan my QR code, and you will find all this information. And as we are still we're extending the hot sale, you will be able to, if you're looking at this live, you can write to me on WhatsApp or email, and they mention that you were watching this live, Cloud Migration Strategies, and if you're interested in getting some training for you or your company, you're going to have special benefits and special discounts for watching this live. So I think, let me see if there is a comment. Mariana here from Buenos Aires is also saying that she can hear now perfectly. Thank you all the people for being there. Now, with Anna here, my guest, she's solutions architect for AWS. We've been talking about migration strategies and migration to the cloud. We've been talking about different examples. She shared with us very kindly examples of her work and real examples of companies that are using migration strategies for the business. Now, I would like in these last minutes, Anna, to talk with you about the importance of English in in the technical environments. No, so let me show you this question. And for example, when it comes to English skills and communication, how important is English in a multinational technical environment?
Well, English proficiency is absolutely crucial in multinational tech environments. In my experience here at AWS, is the common language for us to interact with teams across all global space, and so we can collaborate effectively. And whether it's reading documentation or maybe participating in global meetings, or writing technical specifications or documents, here all the what we call in the company narratives, when we present an initiative, a project, maybe something that we want to promote in our teams, we have to do it in English. So a strong English skill is a must. So maybe I think that all companies in the tech environment are increasingly looking for candidates who can communicate fluently in English. And what I was talking with you a few days ago is that maybe sometimes we have a mindset and we are afraid to speak and maybe have some mistakes. But what it's important is to communicate effectively our ideas, and maybe that we can share with our teams and with the people that we interact with what we want to share with them. So it enables, just to summarize, it enables seamless integration into global teams and projects, and it allow us that part.
Yeah, great. You know, you are working obviously and clearly for AWS. You've been there for 2 years, and well, previously, as you mentioned before, working in different projects, development projects, and so on. When I always talk to students, or when I always talk to companies, and people tell me or ask me about what is the best approach to English, how can I study, how can I learn, or sometimes they tell me, okay, do I have to learn grammar? Do I have to, I always tell them the same. Historically speaking, when it comes to English teaching, there's always been the 4 main skills, listening, writing, reading, and speaking, right? So, and I always add a fifth part, which is mastering or being skillful with the technical terminology that you need to use, or the specific vocabulary that you need to use in your industry. I mean, it could be any industry. I have students, I work with companies that are, my students are from human resources, marketing, finance, retail, and of course also IT companies, IT profiles. So what I always tell them, and what we always do in our trainings, is to focus, apart from the grammar, apart from the listening skills and everything, to focus on the terminology, the technical terminology and the business terminology that they need to know and they need to use on a daily basis. As you said, you need to read terminology, you need to read information, you need to write proposals, or you need to write, and for that, and for every meeting, you need to master your technical language, your terminology. And something that you mentioned before, I also said to my students, you don't need to, you don't need to have the perfect pronunciation, you don't need to have the perfect skills to speak, but most importantly, to have the confidence and to dare to speak, to break that barrier of fear of speaking, fear of making a mistake, perhaps, and being able to prepare yourself for those moments, for your job, and speak. So I always encourage my students to speak, to practice, to take advantage of every opportunity they have to speak and to practice, especially if they need to master and they need to deal with this terminology, technical or business.
Yeah, that's right. English is the main language of the tech world. Most programming languages, documentation, technical resources that we need to be up to date is in English. So in multinational companies like AWS, and I would like to focus on that. English enables effective communication across different initiatives that we have across teams, global teams. So it's crucial for participating in sharing ideas, in meetings, in working on that next level or next step that maybe you need for your career to grow a little more.
Great. So that last comment leads me to this next question. Do I have more opportunities with English?
Without a doubt. That's like that's necessary for career advancement. I think proficiency in English opens up more job opportunities, especially in global tech companies. So if you want to go to a role that involves international clients, you will need to know how to communicate. Or if you have to work with international teams, and maybe someone that is from, I don't know, maybe India. You don't know how to speak with someone from India in their native language. You need to communicate with them in English. And that's something that happens here. So, and even if you want to know about a new technology, you will find maybe a tutorial and a new course that you can start, and it is totally in English. So like feeling confident in this language is key to not only for the job opportunities, but also to learn more and more all the technical information that we need. And that's
something you mentioned, and I'm going to use what you mentioned before just now to giving an advice to people. For example, you mentioned if there is any new technology, you need to learn and about that, and watching tutorials or taking courses, and there's a lot of content that I always recommend my students to watch. For example, AWS has their website and they have a blog where they can find resources, and when the company uploads articles regarding their projects and regarding everything. Is there any other resource or any other website where you can recommend to people to read about the cloud, to read about these technologies?
The AWS blog is a good resource. You can have that in top of mind. Also, we have in AWS, you can find our own free training or certification courses. Some of them are totally free, so you can access them right now. And you can have like a guide for the solutions architect certification path. And you can have all those documentations where you can find topic by topic what you need to know if you want to specialize maybe in databases, or maybe in AI, or maybe in migrations, or maybe you want to learn like the core services to start. AWS have something that we call the exam guides, the exam guides, and then there you can find all that technical topics. And maybe you don't have like a priority to present the certification, but it gives you like some light to where to start studying on your own pace as you decide, and go to that kind of platforms. Here our platform is a skill builder. It's called a skill builder. So you can find that platform and you can start, I think. And to be informed in the AWS blogs, maybe if you look in the services pages, if you Google some service of AWS, you can find like all the documentation resources about that kind of services, and so you can find new functionalities, new releases that we have about it, and be up to date. So, and what I recommend also is we have like we like to create a community, technical communities to share knowledge. We do that in Spanish, but maybe it is also like to give you, it allows us to give ourselves more ideas to, okay, I don't know about the agents in generative AI area, so I need to learn about that. And maybe in the technical community, I looked in a post that they were talking about serverless architectures. What is that? So you have
Wow.
to you receive in these communities maybe some ideas where you can focus on and access to new resources and information that is helpful.
Great, great, excellent. So you heard her, everybody. I mean, she has just given a lot of information, very useful information on how to train yourself in this vocabulary, in this terminology. So AWS blog or AWS website is a very good starting point for everybody who would like to maybe just practice English or really commit to the these certifications or these things. So somebody here comments, could you please write here these URLs? Okay.
Yeah, I will
can
share that in my
Great.
account, no problem.
Excellent, excellent. So Anna is going to be sharing. So thank you. Well, I just have, it says just LinkedIn user, but thank you very much for your comment. And well, Anna here is just sharing this URL, and it's fantastic information for everybody. So well, thank you very much, Anna, for sharing that. So here you have a very good example. I'm very happy to have done this these first tech talks today and with Anna. And something I was going to show also to you is that I would like to show, so you can see this now. This is, as you can see, Anna is just sharing all the other links to this text, so that's great. And I'm introducing and I am promoting this intensive training for people in tech who like to train their English. This is a first IT English, IT business English training bootcamp. So it's an intensive program of 3 months, can be from 1 month to 3 months, but this is really for everybody who would like to seriously and with a lot of commitment train their English, and it's a great opportunity to practice. So if you're in the tech industry, if you're looking for new job opportunities, or you are looking for working for foreign companies or in foreign projects, so I would recommend this bootcamp. We're going to see a lot of terminology. We're going to practice from preparing yourself for a technical interview in English to talking about your projects and having a real overview of all the tech industry and the terminology, which is what we have been talking before. The importance of not only being able to speak in English, but also being able to speak about what you do. If you're a developer, if you're a QA, if you're a solutions architect, if you're an engineer, so being able to speak about all of that in your everyday life, on your everyday job. So I really recommend this training program. And again, here you have the QR code that you can scan, and you will find more information about the training course, the bootcamp. And if you write to the email or WhatsApp, you're going to find you're going to have special discounts for that. So Anna, I cannot thank you enough for being here today, for joining my first edition of the Tech Talks. So I'm really happy for you. You are in Colombia. I know you just, it's earlier there. and you just finish your job and join into this talk. I know you had a busy day today, but I'm more than thankful for your presence here today. So thank you very much.
No, thank you, Jorge, for the invitation.
Thank you, and I
It
hope
was a pleasure.
I hope we can meet again. Maybe
Yeah.
you come into Buenos Aires to AWS offices, or maybe I can go to Colombia, and we can continue talking about tech. So if you're, the last thing I want to say is, people, you can follow her on LinkedIn. You are going to see some of the initiatives that she mentioned before. Like I know there is a group that is called AWS Women in Tech. Correct me if I'm wrong. What is the name?
Women in Colombia. But
Women in Colombia.
Here in AWS, you can find different, we call them the user groups in all Latin countries. So maybe if you are in Argentina or in Uruguay or Paraguay or Chile, surely you will find a user group that's a technical community where you can learn and share new spaces and sessions with people that are also interested in this cloud world. So that's by my side. Just to summarize my advice for everyone that's listening, on the tech side, start with core services: compute, storage, networking, security. You have to understand all these fundamentals, as it will give you a solid foundation to build upon that. And for English skills, don't be afraid to immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Read technical documentation in English, watch tech talks and webinars, and practice writing and speaking about technical topics. So thank you, Jorge, because you are also a useful resource that people can have and practice this. That is essential for a great career.
Thank you very much for all your tips and all the information you have shared with us today. And well, this is the end of our live cloud migration strategy with Maria Muñoz. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. And follow Maria on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn.
Follow Jorge on LinkedIn.
Yes. And well, thank you and good evening to everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.